Hi, my name is Erika Grey, and welcome to Bible Prophecy Headquarters. Today I'm going to talk about an article that came out this morning by the Associated Press entitled "Europe Scrambles to Save Euro, Markets Surge." And the first sentence in the article states, the euro could be days away from collapsing. Well, I'm here to completely rip this article apart and tell you that this article is probably written to get news headlines, to make it into the headlines, and that this writer doesn't know what he's talking about. Days away from collapsing. Okay, analysts warned Monday at the start of a critically busy money-raising week for Eurozone countries. Markets surged anyway on hopes that European leaders with their backs to the wall are readying an overdue solution to the crisis. Now, if this writer read the green paper that was written by the Commission and read about the proposal for the stability bonds, he would know that there is a solution that the European Union leaders have already come out with, and they stated, if you read my article in Yahoo News, that it would stop the crisis, stop it dead in its tracks, basically, once these bonds are issued. Okay, here we go. Financial Times consultant Wolfgang Manchow wrote Monday that the common currency has 10 days at most to avoid collapse. That it would collapse. I mean, I know they're talking about the U.S. dollar collapsing, but we're already a United States. We've run up a huge, huge deficit. The EU is not in the same position as the United States. The EU is a bunch of nations that hand over their sovereignty to Brussels, and right now Brussels just needs a little more teeth and can straighten this mess out. And it's totally different from the U.S. Now, if it was already a United States of Europe and they ran up a ton of debt, then I could say, okay, and their economy was doing, really, really badly. Then I could say, okay, maybe the euro is going to collapse. Given the red tape of, making treaty changes, nations that aren't in agreement, how do they get around the obstacles and get this done as quickly as possible? But that's what they're doing. And right now, the EU market is the world's largest market. In 2007, it kicked the U.S. off the top slot, and the euro was very successful when it was launched. And yes, there's 27 members within the European Union, and Italy is in crisis, but they've just put in Mario Monti, who is a very strategic person for that slot right now. They've done the same thing with Greece. They're working daily and diligently on the problem. So, of course the contagion is hitting, which was what they had anticipated. But they're dealing with it. And one thing I say about the EU that I can't say for the U.S. right now is the U.S. is not dealing right now with its deficit. And frankly, the U.S. is in graver danger. The U.S. dollar is at risk of collapsing. The U.S. economy is in serious trouble. We are seeing a couple of little spurts in these last few days. Housing went up a bit, but that could be because they lowered mortgage rates to an all-time low. So I think that the U.S. is in graver danger, and what's happening is Europe is taking all the headlines. The problem is that what was in place was effective, but it missed teeth. Well, now they're going to give it some teeth. The nations run amok with their own economies, and there needs to be that regulation within those economies coming from Brussels. And as much as I speak about the European Union in Bible prophecy, it really makes a lot of sense what they're doing. And yes, it will whittle away democracy, and that is never good. But as a prophecy writer, I tend to take a neutral stance in between, just watch the events unfold and report them to you. And I'm really in agreement with both sides. I'm in agreement with those who say it's whittling away democracy, because it absolutely is. But I'm also in agreement with what the EU is doing, because let's face it, if I was heading the EU, I would be doing the same thing. I'd want a powerful empire myself. Who wouldn't? Were you going to start something so that you're going to be a weak, mamsy-pamsy nation? No, you're going to want to be strong. So I can't blame the bureaucrats for moving in the direction that they're moving. But I know what Bible prophecy states about the EU, and the EU does come out the winner, and the euro is going to come out the winner. And that's the gauge that I measure everything against. So much for my rant, and I wanted to just blow apart this Associated Press article and let you know that sometimes these articles are about headlines and wanting to get a good headline and something that'll be a headline, and a writer will write without having all of the facts. So you have to really do quite a bit of reading and analyzing and not base anything on one headline. I'm glad you tuned in today, and until next time, God bless.